So, welcome Yathaash to this art show. And here we have interviewed countless people, and we are super happy and thankful for you to come here and take this time out for this wonderful community that is creative, passionate, and a little artsy, mad artsy. Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm really happy to be a part of this.
Thank you so much for being here. I'm Rashmi, India's top art business coach, and we've been doing this for like 1.5 years, and we are happy to get more creative people and get them being more successful, that being the mission for me. Here we have designers, architects, engineers, housewives, interior designers, all of them turning into an entrepreneur. And you being an entrepreneur, a little bit story about Yathaash that I know. He was an entrepreneur, he's reached a financial freedom. Now he's become a coach, and looks with his body, you can see he's a gym freak as well. So so all of it, is probably someone who's taking care of his mental health, his body and his soul. So thank you so much, Yathaash, for being here. And continuing the conversation from Instagram, I would like to ask you, how do you help your clients, and how do you help them to become more creative?
Amazing. To start off with, let's really break things down. Let's really simplify terms. Okay. When you we usually call ourselves creative people, right? Now, I'll be very honest with you. When you usually ask people upfront to their face, what does the word creative mean?
Yeah.
And they have no idea. Then they get blocked out.
Yeah.
Right? And I think every time I see that look on people's face, it's hilarious for me. I absolutely love it.
That is your hook. I get it.
That is my hook, yes.
Let's use this hook on you guys. Guys, put it in the chat box. I mean, this is an interesting question.
How would you define creativity for yourself?
Yes.
What is a creative person?
Everyone, put a 1 word or 2 words, something. What is creativity for you? Okay, I'm waiting. Everyone's thinking. Chris. Yeah, bro. That's right. Somewhere close.
Close.
Okay. Express yourself in your work. Okay. Ability to create freedom. Interesting. Okay. Can I have more things? Everyone scratch your heads and write something. Okay. Create something new. Okay. Freedom of expression. Take a blank piece of paper and create something. Akash. Yeah, boys are getting some engineering. Boys are creative these days, huh?
Don't say anything about engineers, okay? They're insane.
Yeah, so
willingly sacrificing 4-5 years out of your life. Willingly.
I am in the same boat. I did architecture
Exactly.
6 years. 6 years I was being creative, and I didn't do that. I didn't pursue that. So yeah. Okay. Awesome. All right. So Yathaash, you want to break that up for them? Transferring the vision in the head to something real. Wow. Okay. I'm getting more answers.
You can see the beauty of the unseen. I like that. I really like that.
The ability to create a solution to a problem or a situation is creativity to me. Reshuka, well done. Awesome. Make people see the beauty of the unseen. Rigdane, amazing. Artistic. I love that. All of it is true, guys. You guys are creative. You know what it is. But let's hear it from our expert today.
Okay. So what everyone said was pretty much the end result of creativity. Right? Like, what if you're a creative person, what can you make happen? That is what everyone's writing, which is great. However, what I would say is creativity is not an end result. It's a process. The ability to think outside the box is creativity in its own terms. However, if you're in a profession now where you are required to constantly give a certain expected deliverance, and the expectation continues that the next day you break through that expectation and continuously moving on. Your ability to keep going, always think outside the box and delivering a better result than yesterday is what creative professionals are all about. As an architect, you're telling me, as an architect, Rashmi, when you studied architecture, You know for a fact how trends keep changing. And we are not talking about paintings anymore. We are talking about buildings.
Yeah.
Right? Now, can you imagine everyone making the exact same sort of building?
Not happening.
It wouldn't work.
Yeah,
it wouldn't work. Right?
Yeah.
And you see all these magnificent buildings, these insane designs, and sometimes designs which defy physics in its natural element. That's insane. That is creativity is all about. All these people who are creative professionals manage to break through their own limits, think outside their own box, and create something which was superly unique and authentic to them.
I agree.
That's what creativity is all about. One of the main notions creative professionals face is they believe that creativity works like a tide. It can come and can go at any point of time in its own will. And however, I don't know where is this written. Why do people believe this?
Yeah,
it's not written anywhere.
I feel I'm always creative. I'm always creative. But there's something in our profession, I don't know if you know, there's something called creative blocks. Do you want to like...
Of course, I know what a creative block is.
Do you want to give an instance from your client's journey or something that you knew that your client is going through that block? And how did you help that client to come out of it? And for all the listeners here, if you want to give them ideas to come out of a creative block, it would be amazing. Yeah.
Definitely. So I've realized through patterns and behaviors, most of the times a creative block occurs is when someone gets stuck in monotony. But the thing is, for creative people like us, all right, we find things interesting according to our caliber. I'll be very honest with you, most people don't understand what focus means, right? Now, if I were to ask someone, what does focus mean to you? Let's try doing this. Let's ask everyone around here, according to them, what does focus mean?
Okay, everyone put it in the chat box. Use your brain a little more today. We have Yathaash on screen. Let's do some digging in deep. Awesome.
I mean, isn't this what it's all about? Like having
it is all about that.
Yeah, I love this. I absolutely love forcing people to basically think. If people can think, if people can think, then I'm sure they can think well for themselves.
If you can think, you can become rich. That's it.
That is actually quite true.
This is Think and Grow Rich. Stay in the zone. Focus is staying in the zone. Okay. For me, focus is very close to flow, because when I am in the flow, when I'm not forced to do something, and I will focus. But when I am not, I have to focus on things that I don't want to focus, then I am like not in the flow and not in the focus, and it's just jabarjasti wala focus. Focus is being with self, okay? When you think of something undisturbed and try something you like.
Let's get to that. So focus. All right, Rashmi, let's take you as an example, because I think that's all we can do.
Okay.
Right.
No, you can pick anyone. You can pick anyone and dig their brain too.
Okay, cool. Let's get about focus. What focus really means. Okay.
Yeah.
So whenever you're doing something, usually people think that focus is, paying all your attention to one thing. They're not wrong. However, I do believe they're a little misguided. Focus doesn't have everything to do with just paying your full attention to one thing. Okay, Rashmi, you and I are creative individuals, right? Like most people are on this call as well. Amazing. Would you agree that every time you're doing something, 100 other things are going on around you?
Yeah.
Perfect?
Yeah.
You with me?
Yeah.
Amazing. Let's say you have one thing to do on and 100 things are going on around you.
Yeah.
Through statistics, through regular data, of course, 95% of the things you will ignore, right? However, there might be 5 things which are more interesting than what you're doing, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Because we are people who don't do things for having to do them. We do things because genuinely what interests us. So you would leave your task at hand and suddenly start doing that which is more interesting.
100%. Like I said, I go with the flow. I like the flow.
I agree. And in that case, where is the focus gone? Wasn't the focus to pay attention to that one thing, but you already gone to the next thing? I get it. I understand that now you're doing that with 100%. But what you were supposed to do is just left halfway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Focus is not the ability to constantly just put all your attention to one thing. However, what I would like to say is focus is the art of ignoring the 100 things that are going on around you.
Ooh, I like that definition. Art of ignoring. Wow.
Yeah, it's the art of ignoring things. And that is what focus is all about.
Wow, I love that. Is that definition on Google or is it your definition, Yathaash?
It's pretty much it's not the definition on Google, but however, so I have a knack of reading things not on the surface level because I really like depth. Now, when I read something, I like knowing the root source of things. So I read a lot. Like in 2020, when it was COVID going on, I read 120 books in that year, which was amazing.
Wow.
I had a brilliant year. Yeah, I had a brilliant year. Yeah, I have a very different mindset when it comes to reading. I understand why people should read. That's it.
Why? Well, that's my question. Why should you read?
I'll make it very simple. So, of course, there are ways to absorb information, right? Like a lot of people say that I don't like reading. I'm not a reader. I prefer watching content. You understand, right? That the person who you're watching, the person who's spoken these things, where do you think this person would found the knowledge from?
Borrowed it from somewhere, 100%.
Which are books.
Probably, or somewhere, or some other person.
Think about it this way. To make it much simpler, think about it this way. Before you and I, how many people have lived this earth?
Millions, billions.
Trillions, gazillions.
Trillions, gazillions. Dinosaurians.
Exactly. So the number is too big to put a cap on, right?
True.
Perfect. Through data, of course, through statistics. Statistics can't be wrong, right? Numbers won't lie.
Numbers won't lie.
It is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
That's why I love numbers.
I trust numbers more than people. Yes.
There you go. Exactly my point. So there's no room for debate or argument when it comes to numbers.
Yeah.
Perfect. So before you and I, of course, all these people who have lived. So technically, through statistics, there are no problems that you and I couldn't face, which people have not faced before.
Yeah. So somebody has an answer to all your questions.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly my point. Now, so what it shows is there is no problem which is unique to us, right? Amazing. Now, when this is already established that nothing is unique to us, of course, these people who have had these problems must have solved it, right?
Yeah.
Now, is it their responsibility to come and tell us today? It's not. It's not their responsibility. It is our problems. We are facing them. We need to solve them.
Sure.
Exactly. However, at that point of time when they must have solved the problem, they must have written it somewhere, right?
Maybe not.
One of the main reasons I read. One of the main reasons I read. Reading is just understanding information based off someone's experience. The definition of that whole sentence, the word for it is called wisdom. It's easier that way.
Awesome.
And every time, and I don't understand how people are so comfortable trusting. Like, let's face it, most of the things we believe in usually are passed down through us through socialization. There is no thorough research behind it. There is no thorough investigation behind it. When someone explains you something, we just say, yes, this is right, this is wrong, this is good, this is bad. And there's no question, there's no critical thinking involved, which is one of the main issues with people. People don't understand how to critically think. Question yourself, why are you doing this? Okay, if you're doing this, what is going to come out of it? However, is there a better way of doing this? We don't ask ourselves these questions, which leads us to just randomly taking advice from other people who are not clear as well. It's pretty much one blind person leading another blind person, which is just ironic and funny at the end of the day.
Yeah, and then it's a blind town.
Exactly.
and there's a blind king leading the whole government there.
I agree. I really agree with that one as well.
So, okay, coming to the next question. So I want to ask you this question that, like, my quest was all about what is this common bridge between science and spirituality? And somewhere art was my bridge. I think I found the way of expressing myself through art as the bridge between science and spirituality, balancing colors and, mixing yellow and green to make some other green. And I was like, oh, this is my science to match the spirituality of, and that was my bridge. Any which ways, I want to ask you, how do you see spirituality and mindset of a person connected?
For sure. So how I see spirituality is quite simple. Usually people say spiritual people are very religious or they have a lot of faith, right? it makes sense because I've realized that every time I've seen someone pursuing faith or pursuing a belief in a higher power, what they do is they have the acknowledgement that there's something above me.
Sure, yeah.
When you have a certain acknowledgement that something is above me, something is better than me, it will lead you to the path of growth. It always will.
Awesome. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
I see spirituality as being connected with yourself. I think self-awareness runs direct and tandem with spirituality. However self-aware you are is how spiritual you would be.
If I ask you to break down spirituality word into something, how would you define spirituality? This is interesting for me.
Define spirituality. Being connected with oneself. That's how I would define. That's how I would break down spirituality. Being connected with oneself.
Being connected with your spirit, your soul is spirituality.
Your consciousness.
Awesome. Your
consciousness. Whichever word you use,
Yeah, you can use different words later now. Spirituality, consciousness and other things. Awesome.
I agree.
Okay. So I'm sure two things I want to talk about here as artists. They have two things that I have seen in their phase of starving, struggling phase. I feel that phase is when they think they're in the victim mode. Why is it happening to me? Why I can't do it? Am I good enough or not? Again, imposter syndrome. And I think this kind of mindset is what most of the artists come to me. And there is a lot that I have to dig into, tell them that you are gold. Wait, you're gold. And it takes a lot to do that, of course. So how would you do it if you were working with an artist? How would you help an artist overcome this issue? And I think this comes to anyone, everyone, and it's a cycle. I feel it's not that I have become something today and I don't feel the same. When I see an amazing coach doing amazing, I feel, am I not good enough? I feel the same. So how would you help people like me?
Sure. So what your issue here is self-doubt.
Yeah.
That is the issue here. Self-doubt only and only has one solution. No matter how positive you are, no matter how confident you are, no matter how brilliant you are or talented you are, if you have self-doubt, which mostly, of course, everyone struggles with on a time-to-time basis, there's only one solution to it. The only solution to eliminate self-doubt is to outwork yourself. There is no other solution.
Okay.
Imposter syndrome is pretty much to do with not feeling like where you belong, right?
No, it's more like doubting yourself that I'm not good enough.
Yeah, not belonging in the certain place where you are.
No,
that's the book definition, textbook definition of it.
Okay. Okay, sure. Put me in the chat box, honestly, when you saw, oh my God, these guys are doing amazing. Why can't I do it? Am I not good enough? This is okay. It's an okay feeling. It's also a good feeling to be honest from my side, because that's when you introspect, you will outgrow yourself. Okay, awesome. Mushaba, Chris, Janvi, awesome. So she's asking, how would you outwork yourself?
By working on clarity.
Working on
clarity, yes. Creative strengths are not just about knowing what you are good at. Usually what people do is they just look at one or two skills they have, one or two of their strengths they have, that's about it. And they try to bank on those two strengths to drag them across the show. The only main difference between being an achiever and being on the path of getting there is you're not banking on enough skills of yourself. Everyone, let's say, has a bank of 10 skills, 10 different strengths. How aware are you of your strengths? How well do you know yourself? What skills do you know which you picked up but you're not using actively? It's getting clarity like that. When you can truly be clear in your own field of vision, you will outwork your self-doubt.
Yeah.
So most of the times when people are unclear, they have zero idea. They don't understand exactly where they come from, what their roots are. They try to become a person who they aren't. And when they do that, it usually backfires on them. When this happens, they use this experience and they think the path is wrong, which is an issue I've seen in most people, right? Like imagine you have a bad experience For example, in a romantic setting, when someone gets cheated on, they immediately start thinking that, the relationships are bad. But that's not true. It's an experience you've had which is bad.
Yeah, okay. Are you all finding a lot of value, guys? Put yes in the chat box. Are you loving this conversation? So yeah, I mean, like this creative people and this kind of thing, I feel like it's a journey of, as an entrepreneur, there's a very lonely journey. You have started Yathaash now, and you were before an entrepreneur as well. So like this journey is lonely, and in this process, artists were always lonely because they were like, you have 10 friends, out of that, one friend is an artist. Then you'll have meet 100 people, then you'll find another 2 artists, probably. So, it's very difficult to find that like-minded people. And that's why I believe in togetherness. We have one of our core pillars in our community. It's collaborations over competition. Like, we have a code of honor set, and the code of honor is built to smash those mindsets that people had given. And it's again not borrowed from anyone that I have met, but it's more from my own problems that I have faced. And there's 10 possibilities a creative person can learn from another creative person, and there is 100 possibilities of you multiplying your business when you collaborate. So, we have very different kind of pillars that we are setting up and creating this community. And I'm super happy that you're here to meet.
Rashmi, there's something I'd like to add over here. What you said was really nice, right? Most of these artists feel alone, feel lonely. They're lonely in general.
Yeah.
I've realized that in English, so usually in different languages, you could have a word, and resembling that word would be 2 or 3 different words as well.
Mm-hmm.
In English, for the word alone, there's just 2 words. Just 2. Right. Now, are you someone who's very comfortable with your own company?
Yeah, I do love my company, yeah.
Amazing. Exactly. So you know what being alone means to you.
Yeah. I think alone is a strength, lonely is a sadness.
Yeah, you could say that, but let me add just a little more, right? Let's take alone as the one word, and it breaks down into 2 different words.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So that's alone, and these are 2 different words for it. One is lonely, and the second would be solitude.
Solitude. I would put all alone and solitude together as strength and lonely as weakness.
Exactly. What it means is, it depends how you are alone, right? It depends on your perspective. It depends on your mindset. It depends on who you really are. Now, I'll be very honest with you. I've seen people shift from one end to the other. I've seen people become introverts to extroverts. I've seen people change exactly how much ever they wanted to change. I mean, the whole terminology of change means you will only and only change when your need for change will become more than the need for staying the same. What people are supposed to do, what people do is they wait. They wait for that need to become so great that they have to change.
Yeah.
The more commonsensical thing to do is just change exactly before that need comes.
Sure.
Adapt.
Okay. I'm going to ask one last question. So I want to ask you this because I've been a serial procrastinator. Like in areas that we spoke about, but in other areas where I feel I just procrastinate because it's not my priority, it's not important. And I'm sure a lot of you also go through this, that you procrastinate something that is important in general, but in your head it is not important and you just like skip it. How do you deal with your monkey mind in that case?
I'll tell you exactly how I deal with it.
Okay.
So usually what I do is I ask myself, I have very simple conversations with myself. I believe usually when you talk to people, most times what happens is people say something and then they're like, oh, तूने ऐसे कैसे लिया? I thought meant something else. Right? So there is a gap in that. I think when you're at least talking to yourself, please eliminate that gap. It would only make sense, right?
Okay, give me an example.
For sure. Let's say, I'll give you the right example today. All right. I have to go for a dinner. It's a friend's birthday, so I have to go for a dinner, right? I've barely had any time for myself today. I slept at 8:30 in the morning. Yeah, it's been a crazy hectic week for me. I slept at 8:30 in the morning. I had to wake up for lunch, for a meeting before that, and then I had to jump on this call. I have done everything. I have a very strong voice inside me saying, do we really have to go to the gym today?
Yeah, that's where it's my monkey mind always pushing me. It's okay, Rashmi, you're fine.
I agree.
Yeah.
So, of course, the comfortable choice would be today to kick back, relax, probably grab a drink, watch some TV, cancel dinner as well, and just stay at home.
Yeah.
To be very honest, no one is going to stop me from doing that. I have the freedom of doing that, right?
Okay, yeah.
What that is, however, is a very comfortable option.
Yes.
My problem with comfort is not that when you're comfortable, it's great. I get it. It's instant gratifying. You will feel good about yourself. It's great, but it's all in the instant, right? Amazing. You know what lies on the other side of comfort? Have you ever thought about it? The opposite of comfort is not uncomfortable. The opposite of comfort is growth.
Is growth. Sure. Awesome.
You cannot grow until and unless you're comfortable. Like unless and until you make yourself uncomfortable. I actively make choices where I put myself in difficult situations where I'm forced to think out of the box. How else is there a better way of being creative? Of course, I'm reckless. I'm not stupid. There's a huge difference between both of them.
Okay.
Right? Like I know for a fact how reckless I am. Like I will do crazy things after this call. I know my whole body is hurting because I'll be very honest, I've worked out Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Today's my last day. So I work out 5 times a week, which is why I look the way I do. Now, everywhere I go, people ask me, are you on steroids? And I'm just there standing, looking, smiling at them. I'm like, no, I'm just consistent. It's something I do.
Yeah.
It's a choice I make for myself. We both have the same 24 hours.
True.
I'm not cheating.
I procrastinate my health, honestly. I do that. And, like business, I'm consistent. I see the results. I know what is right, but it's my own, monkey mind. Like I say that I will just say it's okay. I don't know. All of you can see this part of me where I'm like, yeah, I am consistent for a few things. I'm not consistent for few things. And
the problem is not inconsistency or procrastination. What you're struggling with is called balance.
Yeah.
No, what you're struggling with is called balance. The concept of balance.
The concept of procrastination.
Yeah, most people struggle with balance.
Everyone has that imbalance. Honestly, if I tell you that the lifestyle that I am designing for coaches now and for everyone, I would say that the balance is the ideal stage of your optimum performance. But that balance it's a destination that you want to reach, but it's never going to be the destination. It's a journey, and you will never be able to even reach the destination and maintain that. Like it's always this journey in life, and it's okay. I mean, I feel it's okay as long as you come back to life. It's fine. So I don't have that idealization of you have a balanced life, blah blah blah. There's no one in the world who's perfectly living that balanced life, and everyone have their own issues. And what you can do is your best to reach that optimal stage.
I agree. Like I would wholesome agree with what you're saying, because there's a thing I read in one of these books, right, which was really nice. So a cathode ray oscilloscope is basically the machine which shows your heartbeat, right? Like you and I both know what a straight line means over there.
Yeah.
Life is supposed to be about ups and downs. If it is not ups and downs, and if it's a straight line, there's no life there.
Exactly. And here it's a business community, and I tell them that challenges are fun. Have those challenges in life, and if you don't have those
challenges, how will you come up with stories to tell?
How will you learn from your mistakes if you don't have the challenges? My question is, how can we reach an optimal state of work-life balance? Any tips? Awesome. Okay, good question.
See, what you need to do is you need to firstly sit down and analyze how many points can you give out of 5 to each area of your life. break it down into 4 different parts: your social life, your personal life, your professional life, and your intrapersonal life, right? The mind and the body are different. So since we take them as 2 different areas, okay?
Sure.
Amazing. If you can manage to correctly analyze and understand yourself, where you're lacking, put in the work to create an average. Like, for example, this is what I mean. The lack of awareness in India is absolutely unreal, right? What do you learn from school? Why is school designed in a certain way? Why are we given 6 subjects and we need to score equally or passing marks in each 6 subjects? You could get 100 in math and 15 in chemistry and you would repeat, right?
Yeah.
It's basically to teach us the average system. It's basically to teach us that in life, at some point of time, you'll be doing really well in one area. But if you do not put in enough effort in the other area, it's not going to work out.
Yeah, sure.
It's as simple as the lesson is really good, right? But we never saw school as that way. We never understood the educational system, why it is designed the way it is. Now, I have a habit of questioning these things. And when I do, it leads me to information where I actually find clarity more and more. My questions are only different.
Yeah.
So the next question
is how to become creative. Is creativity a skill that can be learned? Very interesting. Okay.
That's actually a decent question, I would say. All right. No, creativity is not a skill. Creativity is a state of mind you can achieve, right? When you usually fail at a task, why is it that you fail at that task? It's because you lack the certain skill for it. Make sense?
Yeah.
If you learn that certain skill, of course you can finish that task. Like, for example, walking. Today, walking is instantaneous for most of us. For anyone with an abled body, if I ask you to stand in an open space and I tell you take 3 steps to your left, you will take 3 steps to your left without even having to think about it really. Right? It's become an instantaneous action. Let's try to rewind it back. Let's try to rewind it really back. When you were 1 year old, when you were 2 years old, when you were struggling to understand how the concept of walking works, of course it was difficult. It wasn't easy. Walking is a very complex exercise when you think about it. Controlling a certain level of your leg muscles, maintaining posture, controlling balance, finding the judgment to take enough amount of steps so you don't trip on yourself. It's a very complex process. But today, because you've done it so many times, it's become a skill and it's become a natural action for you, right?
Muscle memory of you, yeah.
Exactly. Creativity is the same. It's the exact same. It's a state of mind. The mind at the end of the day is nothing but a muscle. How much can you exercise it? Depends on you. Depends on your personal caliber and your personal potential. Everyone has 10 potential. Everyone has, on a scale of 1 to 10, everyone has 10 potential. The problem is how much you can tap into it. That's exactly what I do. I help people tap further more into their potential so they can reach their ideal version of themselves. They can lead the life they have dreamt for themselves.
So you either put yourself inside to suffer, or you choose to say that I'm watching the suffering. It is not me. Okay? If you're seeing a half glass empty and you feel sad, you just watch it. Don't try to fill it up. Don't try to do nothing. Just watch it. Okay, bro. Like, realistically, it's just a cup. It's half empty or half full. It's your perspective. It's your perspective. You don't have to do much about it.
And max to max, if you want to change it, just replace it with a smaller glass and make it full.
Yeah, I mean,
glass it gets, yeah.
If you really want to change the situation, you do. It's your choice again. It's the practice of your choice. So, do you want to suffer, or do you want to be like a sufferer, or do you want to just watch the suffering and say, it's normal, it's realistic. Life is such. Everyone suffers. And that's what I learned from my life, that I have started watching it. There's no big deal. Yeah, it is what it is. And then second, it's affecting me. No matter what the suffering is coming to me from here, whatever the suffering does hurt. If it's your own people, then what do? Create boundaries. And this is for your own protection, your own good. It's nothing wrong. You have to set your boundaries. And boundary setting has to be done with your own spouse, your own family, your own parents, blah, 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 blah. Do it. If it hurts you, do it. Yeah? How many of you loving this session? put love in the session. Let's give a lot of love and a lot of fire emojis for our guest Yathaash today. He's been really patient answering all of you and answering all my questions as well. Let's give him a lot of love. Go follow him on Instagram. Thank you so much, guys, and see you on Friday. Let's be achievers. All of us are achievers. All of us are gold. Just dig your bullshit out. Awesome.
Have a great weekend to everyone, and thank you so much for having me around.
Bye for now.